Hello everyone, and welcome to Game 4 of uh, SK Telecom versus MBC Hero. MBC Game Hero even. This is going to be a match between Light and So. Apparently, SK Telecom ran out of all of their big guns, and so they had to send out So, who, well, kind of following the, line of things, is not really all that well known of a player. He's going to be the blue Zerg, he's going to be at about the 530 position, and Light is, of course, a Terran player. He's going to be in orange. This is going to be on, I forgot to look, it's going to be on Roadrunner. So, Roadrunner is kind of an interesting map, and it does look like So is going to send his Overlord straight for Light's base. So is going to learn his position pretty quick. I won't say right away, because Overlords take a while to get there. And for singing purposes, we are at 35, 36, 37. Oh, hey, there we are. So, like I said, not really all that well-known player. Certainly not compared to the first three that SK Telecom sent out. SK Telecom had Fantasy, then Best, and finally Bisu, all of which have been players on the national stage. And the Korean national stage, of course. But yeah, they're really well, all of them at times have been brought up as possible winners of a Pro League. So hasn't. He's not a bad player, I don't guess, but I just, I haven't heard of him. Although, granted, except for Bisu, all of the players that no one's ever heard of have been winning these games. So maybe I should root for him. And actually, frankly, I am going to root for him, because if he wins, we're going to go to a Game 5. And I like ace matches. Ace matches are always really fun. So, there is MBC player, which is going to be Light. Don't really recognize him, but a lot of players I don't recognize by sight. The really famous ones I will, but yeah, Light is not famous enough for me. We have So is going for a, well, that's not really an early hatchery, but certainly an expansion before Light got an expansion. In Zerg versus Terran, though, that does not mean that So really has an advantage, because frankly, you almost need to be an expansion up on the Terran. And it looks like he's not going to stay in the expansion up very long, because Light is going down there as well. Actually, both players went for very, expansions before anything else. And with So, that's not that much of a gutsy move, because he had an Overlord into Light's base right then. So you probably noticed there wasn't a barracks where he was expecting to see a barracks, so he expanded. But Light is really kind of gutsy on this one, because Light hasn't scouted at all. There is no SCV in So's base. The only one that's, gone out of their base really is Light, and that was with the Overlords. The drone made it a little bit, but, not really. So, So has the Overlord, and he knows what Light's doing. Light has no clue, but Light was confident enough that So wasn't rushing. He just went ahead and went for the expansion. And you know what? His game sense paid off. He knows what's going on now. Now it looks like, yep, Light is now going to go ahead and get the expansion. Make sure there aren't 5 million Zerglings running for his base, and hey, actually he's getting a second barracks up pretty quickly. So, he went for, okay, so almost kept that, SCV, that's what it's called. Almost got that SCV out of his base. And it wouldn't have been critical. I mean, there was really nothing in there for the SCV to see. You saw that there was a hatchery down, and, third hatchery is interesting to see, but you probably could have seen that from the ramp. You saw the spawning pool, but really, who's not going to think there's a spawning pool by now? We're, 3 minutes into the game. There better be a spawning pool. So there is a Marine out guarding the ramp. There's no Zerglings hatched yet, although they can come out now. They may come out and, give that SCV a hard time just here in a second. Yep, there they are. Cute little blue Zergling. I call those Smurflings. Only when they're blue, though. When they're not blue, I have to make up other names for them. But that won't be this game. Haha. So, whenever you're chasing an SCV, a good thing to do, and yeah, it looks like So is doing it, have one Zergling chase the SCV, have the other one be manually controlled in order to try and cut it off. And here comes some more Zerglings. So now, there's 4 of them on that poor thing. That, you'd think with 4 Zerglings on you, you're not going to live very long, but honestly, you can micro against Zerglings pretty easily. Looks like he ran out there, he tried to take a corner, and the Zergling caught him. But yeah, you can micro against Zerglings fairly easily. It's Hydras you have a problem with. Or obviously Mutas. But that's why, pound for pound, SCVs stay alive in Zerg bases longer than anyone else. In Terran's bases, a Marine will take them out pretty quick, and in, Protoss, Dragoons come out faster than Hydras do, even though they're technically the same tech. Normally, we won't have a Hydra den come up until the lair is finished. So, that's where we are. We have Zerglings out running the map. Not going to do a whole lot. You know, there's enough Marines out there that, you know, Zerglings can kill Marines off pretty easily, but when Marines start balling up like that, the Zerglings get worse and worse and worse. Because, you know, they'll all run in, start maiming one guy, but then all the other ones will be firing. So, you know, it's one of those things. You know, 2 Zerglings can kill a Marine, but 12 Zerglings can't necessarily kill 6 Marines. And 24 Zerglings certainly can't kill 12 Marines. So, although it kind of depends on positioning. If you catch them moving, you can. It's all on the surround. Kind of the same thing with Zealots, you know. 3 Zerglings can kill a Zealot, but 36 Zerglings cannot kill 12 Zealots. Unless they get a full surround on them. And Marines are going to push in right here. Force these Zerglings come in for a little bit of a pincer attack, and the Sunken Colony comes up. So those Marines are going to have to run back home. But there's quite a bit of Zergling blood on the ground, and I don't really know if any Marines died. So that was certainly good pressure. It forced So to put down, you know, 2 Sunken Colonies. That's going to end up, between the 2 of them, cost him, I can do math, 250 minerals. So that's certainly 250 minerals he would have liked to spend on something else, most likely. No one likes putting down base defenses. Well, except for new players. New players always like to have bases they don't have to come back to defend. But on the pro scene, you can, yeah. There's not enough base defenses in the world that will actually hold, you know, pro gaming army back. That's why it's kind of funny. The Corsairs become such a dominant unit, but almost no one uses Dispersion Matrix for it. And I guess I misspoke a little bit. It just cost him 175 minerals. He hasn't actually upgraded the other one to a Sunken Colony. So, he doesn't have to spend the 75 minerals to do that. I think it's 75, right? I don't know. I haven't played Zerg in a really long time. And all the Zerg I have been playing have been on StarCraft 2, which StarCraft 2 doesn't have those things. So, who knows? I don't. We don't have mutas out now, but we also have turrets out. So I do not foresee these mutas doing a whole... Ooh, wow, we even got a bunker on the front door. So there's a good dispersion of bunkers around and turrets around. There are Marines in the base that can move very quickly and respond. The thing about Marines is when they move very quickly, they stem, and that makes the Marines or the medics have to heal them. So it isn't perfect. Light is doing something very smart here if you pay attention. He will, you know, he doesn't keep his Marines up towards the edge, so they'll fire as soon as the mutas get in range. Because if you do that, the mutas have slightly longer range than the Marines do. And so, you know, if they're on the edge, then the muta can come up, shoot, and then go back and keep doing that, and constantly be out of range. So, by keeping his Marines a little bit back from the edge, he is forcing the mutas to get within, you know, to come up into the base in order to attack, and they can stem and run forward, because a stemmed Marine runs faster than a mutalist flies, just barely. And especially if they're coming in when you guys stem and run forward, you'll get in and get a lot of pot shots out on them. Now it looks like the Marines are moving out, and the Mutalists are actually, they're using that bridge as kind of a choke in order to manually split the Marines up. The Marines can't all, well, I guess they could all go across one bridge, but naturally they don't want to. They'll naturally split a little bit when there's that many of them. And so the Mutalists can use that to kind of funnel the troops out. If you notice, there were Marines up the cliff, there was Marines on each bridges, and the Mutalists were just picking and shooting. And here we have, now they're mostly going all for one. We have a lot of dead Marines, but they're getting a pretty good amount of damage in on the mutas. You bring in Zerglings on occasion, and that's usually a really smart thing to do, because Mutalisks, you know, the Mutalisks will be drawing the Marine fire naturally. They'll come in first, they'll shoot, the Marines will all turn on the Mutalisks, which means the Zerglings can run in unmolested and just start ripping through things. Until the Mutalisks fly away, the Marines will not refocus on the Zerglings. It doesn't work particularly well here, only because there's fire bats mixed into the mix. And, yeah, mixed into the mix, that's good. Fire bats are mixed in, because my fire bats are not going to be distracted by Mutalisks, they can't hit them. And so as soon as those Zerglings come in, the fire bats will be like, hey, I can be useful, and they'll run in there. So, honestly, you know, Light is doing a good job of pushing So around. If his Mutalists really can't get position on the Marines, and there are some Lurker eggs trying to block the ramp here, but if he doesn't be careful, those Lurkers are going to die the second they come out. It does look like he's got some Zerglings trying to come in here, but there's even more Marines jumping in. And yeah, those mutas are not going to get a lot done. So, we do have one Lurker up, and whoa, Lurker, what are you doing? That's not a good idea, Mr. Lurker. We have one lurker up, but there's two of them now. There's two of them on the ramp, and trying to take a ramp against lurkers is a recipe for disaster. Because when you come up, you have to have all your marines in one little consecrated group. I think I said consecrated. You have to have all your marines together. Oh, and all the marines have gone down now, so those poor medics are going to have to run for their lives. It seems like medics are more durable than marines. I'm not really sure why. Do they have more hit points? That's kind of weird. Okay, so not a good little game here. It looks like So has expanded again, so he is now one base up on the Terran. He's got 3 to the Terran's 2, although with the Zerk you want to be about one base up. So that, again, that doesn't really mean So has an advantage. It's a pretty good, we have a fairly standard game here. The Mutant Harass really has not done enough in my opinion. He's gone in there, he's, made the Marines run around, but he really hasn't, I don't think Might has been economically harassed at all. And if you don't do economic damage, you're asking for pain. Because the problem is, late game, when there's a lot of, mech units and tanks now, and they're upgraded, they're incredibly hard to kill. And the greatest chance you have as a Zerg player is to do enough economic harass that you end up overrunning the Terran.